What's up guys, me Ninja here, back doing a video in GTA Online. It's the part 2 of the San Andreas Flight School. So we're going to kick straight off with Formation Flight, which is the 6th challenge in this. This was probably one of the hardest to do, at least it took me the longest time to do anyway. Because what you've got to do is, you're in the new training jet. As you can see, it's very fast and very agile. Basically what you've got to do is follow what they say and stay within the green circle. Now, as long as your nose is pretty much touching and pretty much touching the circle or the inside of the circle, you're fine. I don't think you gain any more points or less points than if your full plane's in. What you want to do is just try and follow them exactly. So if you can see that thruster's going, you make sure you pull the thruster. If you can level it out, that's really a good start. I think you need 600 points to get a gold, which means basically you have to hit every single. You have to at least make all of the ones up to the end, and keep it green at all times to actually get that. As you can see, it's sort of lenient because I went completely away from it, and it still gives it for some reason. So as long as you just maintain that green circle, you'll be fine. This bit you have to catch up. Do not let up on the throttle at all. Keep your finger on the right trigger at all times, and you should be able to do this no problem. These ones are probably your best chances to get the points, because after there's gonna be one more, and then after that one you've got to do a flip in the air, and that's almost impossible to stay within the green circle and keeping in the formation. It's ridiculous. But you can make up some of that points on the very last one, where you can where you go upside down. It's an inverted half loop or something like that. See, this is where you can gain a lot of points as well. Now this is where you've got to have to do the loop. Now this is one where you pull down, and I have not sussed out how to stay in the green, because no matter what you do, whether you keep right trigger held down, you can never sort of catch up and keep up with them. So what you want to do is just try and make sure you can. As you can see, I've literally just passed gold now, but that's because I hit everything earlier. If you can just try and keep as close as possible to them, and this is where you can make up the last few points. Upside down, as long as you can fly straight and wobbly by the looks of it, inside and keep that green, yeah, you should be fine. So that was 600 points for gold. It can be quite annoying because it's your first time flying that jet, or it's a lot of people's first time flying that jet, and that jet is so damn agile, it's unbelievable. But you will get used to it. Again, you get a lot more money, but I've already done them, so I don't get as much. This one is, well, you should have had plenty of practice with this. You've got to hit 25 targets in the buzzard. You're at a construction site, and basically you just got to shoot a lot of targets. There's not much else I can say about this one, other than it's probably easier that you don't do it in third person mode like this. If you go to the mode like this, it's so much easier. So if you can, I would recommend staying at the same position. Try not to move forward or back so much, because you will hit stuff and it can be a pain. I'm pretty sure I do in this video, so you'll see. But it does tell you to when there's a cluster of them to use rockets. I would highly recommend not using rockets, because one, it's quite a hit and miss. So if you don't actually hit them, then it can be quite bad. So I do not recommend hitting the one on the crane, though. By the way, don't try to go for that, because you can completely lose yourself. I was lucky to get back, but I would just keep your finger on the A button to continuously shoot the machine guns. Don't let up, and just make sure you just keep hitting these targets. If you can, always go for the ones where there's more than one together. It's always your best bet. You can lose yourself a bit, and I would recommend you can lose balance quite easily, so just try to give yourself a little bit of time to regain a balance, and you should be fine. Actually, this run was worse than my first run. I think I barely scraped a gold on this, but gold is 25 targets. Don't do what I'm doing now and chase after the targets. Try to just try to maintain a distance away from them so you can actually aim better, and always go for the ones if there's like multiple of them. I think I get lucky because there's like 2 or 3 here. Yeah, I think this is it. I think I'll just scrape into it. There you go. That's yeah. So I got lucky towards the end. If I just try, the only recommendation is literally just don't drive into the construction site like I did. You should be fine. When you first do this one, there will be a like you get a practice run, and then he'll tell you to go for the medal, and you'll be timed. So you get a practice run, so don't worry. And you can always come back and do them again, and it doesn't restart the tutorial if you fail the first time around. So you should be fine. Okay, I take it back. Maybe this one's one of the worst ones. Actually, yeah, this one is really bad. Again, you've got the agile jet, and you've got to basically stay as low as possible to the ground when you hit the checkpoint. So you've got to hit the bottom of each checkpoint. You'll see what I mean in a minute. A lot of it in the drain, and then as you can right. My advice is it's literally don't have your finger on the trigger. You won't stall or anything unless you keep pulling the left trigger. Just let it fly on its own. Don't bother using the right trigger. Try not to be cocky like I did there, because that was ridiculous. Hit as it doesn't matter how high you are before the waypoint. Just get as low as possible to the ground and to the checkpoint. If you can make it through that little gap there, you'll be on. That'll be sorted. But I didn't because I suck. As I was a bit high off the ground there, so my average heights went up. Gold medal, you need to be an average height of 1 meter. So you don't. My first time round sucked because I just messed it up at the beginning. If the first few targets are the ones that you mess up on, don't worry, because this one's actually probably easier because you can hit as low as possible and you'll be fine. Especially there because you can get right under it. But don't try and crash and restart if the first time you completely fail and if you can see that the average height's going up a bit too much, because as long as it's an average height, so as long as you're hitting the next lot, like no more over, the thing will decrease, and it actually isn't that difficult. The wind turbine can be quite annoying because you can mess up quite severely if it catches the back of your wing or anything. You've got to do a sharp turn because you don't turn properly or anything. So just be careful and you'll be fine. So I did really well there, 0.31. Don't be put off by the world records, because the world records is like 0.00000, and I don't even think there's a 1 in there. Yes. So, and like on this one, the world record is complete. It was completed in under 1 second. That's impossible, so don't think of that. This one, you've basically got to collect 30 flags, or waypoints basically, within 2 minutes 40 seconds for gold. Now, the only advice I can give you here is make sure you collect as many as you can going through the first, one strafing run. So don't try and go out the way to hit flags. Make sure they're actually on your path, and try and hit the ones closest to the bottom as possible. Now, first time I did this, I struggled a lot, and even when recording this video, I struggled a lot. So the advice I found out is if you can. I tried many different paths, and this one really worked the best. So I would highly recommend trying to follow this flight path. I know some of it's quite fluky, that was a sharp turn, but I try to hit the ones closest to the ground as possible because the ones up above are so much easier to get. You don't have to come in from a certain angle at the ones on top, whereas on the ones where they're pretty much shagging the floor, it's kind of difficult. But try and follow this path. When I was trying to record this video, I think I messed up. Oh god. I replayed this 15 times before finally finding the right flight path. So this one does work if you can just follow it like pretty much dead on. Only problem is if you're trying to follow this, this is online, so the game will not pause. So you're try and have to remember where I went, or you're gonna have to have really good concentration where you can have the video set a few seconds before, and then you kind of fly a few seconds behind, so you can kind of follow us. If you've got this, if you've got it set up like that, but yeah, with just five targets left. They're all pretty much, actually, okay. Maybe I messed up a little bit of those two because those two can be quite difficult to get. But if you just try and don't be a cocky little prick like I am, and don't try to do that, and you make sure you go in for the run, and you know you're gonna go straight, you should be fine. This is actually, this is good timing considering that's the last one. I think even my best attempt was like 234 or something. Well, I don't even know what I did there, but I think it was under 230, was it? It was under 230. See, we're fine. So that's a good attempt. Like I said, there's not much I can tell you. Just make sure you don't try to go out your way where you're gonna miss them. Make sure you go on one flight path. This one is basically you're in a, I believe, if we have a look, you're in a laser jet, so the one with guns that you steal from the military base. You've just got to follow the instructor. It's not too difficult. I mean, some of the maneuvers he gets you to do is a bit risky. You cannot fail this. Like, you cannot miss a gold as long as you hit every checkpoint. I haven't failed this one before. As long as you continuously pull RT on the throttle, because he does try to keep up to your speed, so if you slow down, he'll slow down, and that's not what you want to do. But make sure you realize that blue waypoints mean you need to go upside down. Green waypoints are knife flights where you go on your side, and make sure you follow him, because if you the knife flights aren't just in the middle of nowhere, they kind of direct. This one maybe. This one's a little bit out in the middle, but there's one coming up at the end of this harbor where if you knife flight to the right, you will go off the wrong way, and you really need to pull it off like that. Now, I was insanely lucky there, so be careful. But if you turn the other way, you'd completely crash. You've got to try and make sure you can follow which flight he's taking. It's probably the best thing for you to do. I think there's a double upside down here. That's not too difficult as long as you use the bumpers to steer left and right. This one, you go under a few things which can be quite risky. Like this one, you could mess up, but as long as you can just basically wave, go down and then up, and you'll be fine. You come under an overpass here, you should be fine. If I believe you can actually scrape the ground, then you'll be fine. So don't worry about that. You might be able to put your landing gear down if you think you're going to mess up as well. Like that knife flight, you want to make sure you go to the left so you can actually follow him. This one, go to the right because you're going to pull behind these buildings, as you can see. I think you'll end up going in the drain in a minute, and that's pretty straightforward, and that's pretty much near the end too. The construction yard one looks like it could be difficult, but it really isn't. Just make sure you go in a straight run. This is gathering towards the end right now. So you go under here, and then go to the right, and then you'll pull up, and that'll be the end. I believe you slow down if you hit too close to the water, so don't try to do that. And there you have it. That is all the flight schools. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.